All right, it is lunchtime again, Monday. Thanks for watching the video, and I have a Bible question for you. The last one I asked was, who did Israel identify Christ as when he rode into Jerusalem? Whose son did Israel recognize Jesus to be? When he rode into Jerusalem, 5 days out from his crucifixion, many children and common people were waving palm branches, saying, "Hosanna to the Son of David." They were identifying him as their Messiah, the Son of David. As we see in 2 Samuel chapter 7, God promises David that his kingdom, David's kingdom, will be forever, be established forever. And we see God promise that of his seed, of David's seed, he would raise up a king, and that David's kingdom would be forever. Well, we saw what happened to Solomon. We saw what happened to Rehoboam and all the kings that would follow after the kingdom split with Rehoboam, Solomon's son, and it went downhill from there. But Jesus Christ, he is the King of Israel, as was put above the cross. He did not come the first time to reign. He will come the second time to reign. Now, the prophecies of the Messiah's lineage didn't start in 2 Samuel with the seed of David, but it began all the way back in Genesis chapter 3. Right at the fall of man, God promised that there would be one who would defeat Satan, the serpent. It would be the seed of the woman. Then later in chapter 4, he gave Adam and Eve another seed instead of Abel. And then God promised that of Abel, it would be Noah and his sons. And then of the sons of Noah, it was narrowed down to Shem. And then of Shem, it was narrowed down to Abraham. And then in Abraham, it narrowed down to Jacob. And Jacob's 12 sons, it was narrowed down to Judah. And then finally narrowed down to David. Then we have also prophecy that of David, he would be born of a virgin, Isaiah 7:14 and Isaiah chapter 9 and others. That it would be God in the flesh. A child is born, a son is given. His name should be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God. God would come as a child, as a son. So, yeah, they identified him as the Son of David. Now, question today is, when Jesus, when he's looking out over Jerusalem and weeping, and he's saying, he's basically telling them that their temple, that the temple there in Jerusalem is no longer God's house. He was removing his identity from that particular temple. And it's interesting to know in John that he calls his body the temple, that he would raise it up in 3 days. That's a different study. But did Jesus hint in Matthew 23, after the second to the last verse says, "And I leave your house unto you desolate." Your house. No longer my house should be called a house of prayer. No, it's your house. And then in Matthew 24, he warns that every stone will be thrown down. He said, "I leave your house desolate." Was there a hint? Did Jesus hint of a future restoration of that temple, of a future restored Jewish temple? Check out the last verse of Matthew 23. Compare that to 1 Kings chapter 9.